I believe we were born with a set of code of ethics. And I started reviewing my code of ethics this year in deeply, as everything I do. And I was I got this coming back always intuitive definition that kept coming to me, but I wasn't realizing that it was telling me what my code of ethics felt like, which is when I really get the grasp of, oh, this is what it is. And it was this definition that keeps coming up, which is reminding myself when I was young, and I had this sense of righteous belief, way of thinking, that it felt like as if I would have already known, would have lived already so much experiences. Like, how can you have such a strong conviction or such a strong way of believing in something without someone teaching you at all? And then I just keep remembering moments in my life, very young, where I just knew that wasn't right, or I didn't agree with something. And I always just had a strong opinion since very young age on how life felt like. And just, I was really called conservative person as a young girl. And and I just keep noticing that there's been always like strong values that have been marked in my life. But then I also remember moments where I've completely learned to omit, to ignore this voice, to ignore this wisdom, to ignore my own code of ethics, my own code of principles in life. So this leads to really lacking a backbone, I think, at least in my experience, of this lacking of code of ethics, or lacking following my code of ethics, following what I feel is true and what I feel is real and what I really love. Because code of ethics, I think it's so unique for everybody. So what we really feel is powerful is going to be different for everybody, just because we are all uniquely different and we have just a different color, and this different color comes from this different code of principles, that even though we have in essence like a similar code of ethics, which is honest, integral, integrity, and all this, like this similar code of ethics, then there's like a code of ethics that defines how we follow that code of ethics and how we live our life. And it's really also connected to our heart. But when it is the heart intention. So another way of seeing what I'm calling code of ethics is the heart's intention, the heart's seed of our birth intentions and responsibilities that we have here. So it's that guidance that says, I like this, keep going, and that guidance that says, I don't like this, actually, can we stop and just choose something else? And I think we have been taught a lot to pretty much blind certain parts of this code of ethics that creates us to, and then it creates low self-esteem. I think behind low self-esteem, there's a lack of seeing our code of ethics. And I speak from my own experience. Obviously, where else would I bring stuff like this? It all comes from my own experience. So yes, I've lived low self-esteem. Yes, I've lived not having a backbone. And I'm not ashamed of sharing that, because it is about growing from that. And we go through experiences that can can bring low self-esteem. And I think, well, from working and practicing emotion code, low self-esteem is a very common, just like unworthiness and worthless is a very common imbalance in most humans. So in different levels, so we might have low self-esteem in love, and some people have low self-esteem at work and leadership, and some people have low self-esteem in speaking up, and some people speak up a lot but then they don't have low self-esteem in another angle. So it's not about really pointing fingers, oh, who's who, because there's no comparison. There's no human being that is better than the other one. There's just human beings that are maybe better at improving themselves, better at working on themselves, but down to it, we all are skilled to do major shit. Like, yeah, maybe you're not good at this, but I'm sure you're good at something and you're really good at it. So I'm trying to bring up a way of seeing that we are born with a set of intentions, with a set of principles to really guide what we're here to work on, what we're here to really enjoy in life. And I want to bring it up as part of our own code of bringing pleasure and joy and excitement to life. Because yeah, life is not going to be always joyful and really exciting, but we do want to live fully. And if we're going to feel the shitty side of life, which it is, and it's really good to be skilled to live the shitty side of life in a smooth, badass way, it is also good to be able to enjoy the good side of life, because sometimes good things are happening and we might be taking it for granted. We might be like completely sliding off the amazing stuff that are happening to us. Like, I think the best years in my life have came with so much shit, but I've accomplished so much goals and so much growth and so much dreams accomplished. Like, I've checked off like so much dreams, and oh, I did this, I explored this, I learned this, I lived this, but it came with so much uncomfortable moments. So can we learn to enjoy both at the same time? And I think it takes a lot of like really knowing how to dance with this, but also learning how to really enjoy the good things that are happening all around us all the time, every day. Even when shitty things are happening, there's at least 1, 2, 3, or 4 or 5, probably a lot more of things that are also beautiful happening in our life at that moment. And I think we tend to freak out so much on the negative things that we tend to just go on the negative side. And again, I speak from my own experience, because my own experience has been living it all, really, just really diving into it and and diving in and making a lot of mistakes, and not saying that I'm still not making mistakes. I'm still making mistakes, but it's kind of like, how can I start living a life where I enjoy making mistakes, or actually not making mistakes, deleting, eliminating that, and saying, well, maybe I'm just living life fully accepting that I am a human being that is imperfect and that I can make mistakes, and that's okay. And then grow backbone and follow my fucking code of ethics, which says live your life the way you want to live it, and fully, and just get going on all those things you want to live and do, without really backing myself up because it doesn't fit the mold that I was given. And what I mean with this is, for some of us, our code of ethics collapses just crashes with cultural beliefs. It collapses, it crushes with family beliefs sometimes. And I think that's fine. And sometimes we can feel shame and feel painful. Like we feel like living our code of ethics is gonna break people's heart, or it's gonna separate us from loved ones. But if we actually accept that we all have different code of ethics, maybe we can be more integrated. Maybe we can be more part of each other's lives, to understand that I don't have to live the way you live, but we can still appreciate each other. We can still be in each other's in space, or accept each other. It's such a huge shift in our life when we are able to really accept that we're not the same, and we're not competing against each other. We're just living with each other, and embrace people's, like when you enjoy people's code of ethics, their own ways that we don't understand, we don't have to understand. We actually get to understand them from the heart. We get to understand people from the heart, from a space of heart, when we allow people to be, from when we understand that people are here to live their own principles. And we don't have to understand them. Now, if those principles, if their ways of living is really in collapse, like in a really negative way, then we can just walk a different way without hating on them, without doing anything, and grow a backbone to speak up to that. And I think I've lacked that, and I think I am in the process of really realizing that it's not about fighting, because for me it was avoiding conflict. Like I don't want to conflict, and I don't want people hating on me, but at the same time, fuck it, have people hate on you if they need to, if that's their way of seeing life and they cannot accept that we all have a way of living, then it's okay. People can just hate on, and that's their business. But living our way of like choosing our code, choosing our path, choosing what we really love and enjoy without any shame and without any, being unapologetically ourselves, I think has a lot to do with that essence that is always speaking to us. And that's what I've been feeling lately, like, and I'm embracing that right now. And I'm also exploring what pathways it gives me in understanding this way of seeing it. Well, that's all I had to share, and see you till next time.